The Houston Astros just can't seem to stay out of trouble in 2020. We have so much to talk about today, including the Astros being sued. We have Marcus Stroman calling out the brand new manager of the Chicago White Sox, Tony La Russa, who I believe is a Hall of Famer. Stroman just climbed up to the top ropes, jumped down, and tried to body this man. So he's a free agent. We all know that Stroman most likely is not going to Chicago. We have Trevor Bauer pretty much narrowing down his options to a couple different teams. So if you're a Blue Jays fan, if you're an Angels fan, you're going to want to pay attention and watch until the end. And if you're a Mets fan, Steve Cohen, the brand new owner, he's something special. We're going to play some quotes from him because, to be honest, I am completely jealous. He seems like he is the dream owner. Now what we're going to do is deep dive into the Astros shenanigans because their former GM, he is speaking out and talking about his experience both during and after the cheating scandal of 2017 and partially into 2018. So basically what he's doing is he is collecting a group of lawyers and he is trying to combat the Astros organization by suing them for breach of contract. Now I don't know if he's going to be able to win this, but essentially what he's saying is that they broke his contract and they made him the scapegoat because Robert Manfred and the owner, the actual owner of the Astros, Jim Crane, they were pretty much exonerated. They put all of the blame on AJ Hinch and Luhnow, the former GM of the Astros, and they were pushed aside. So what has transpired since then? AJ Hinch, the disgraced manager, he's back in baseball. He has a job. Alex Cora, who was part of that scandal as well, he was fired from the Red Sox, but he was just brought back. So to me, this isn't fair. If anyone is going to be given a job, it should be Jeff, considering he put together that squad. He had his fingerprints all over the squad in both 2016 and 2017. So he's responsible for a ton of different transactions that helped build up the Astros franchise from a joke trash can, no pun intended, franchise, garbage in my opinion, one of the worst baseball teams in the history of baseball, up into an elite top 5, top 10 franchise in all of baseball, and he cannot find a job. I would love to see him in a Giants uniform. I would love to see him on a team that has a ton of payroll, because he obviously knows what he's doing in regards to baseball. Now, the speculation around him is that he's a dirty, rotten liar. He is lying through his teeth. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play the audio that just came out recently of him explaining what happened, trying to justify it, and basically saying, we're sorry for cheating. I should have done more, but I didn't know more, so I couldn't do anything. So I want you to let me know in the comment section down below, after you watch these clips, what do you make of this whole situation?
I apologize for what the Astros did. I apologize to the Los Angeles Dodgers. I apologize to the New York Yankees. I apologize to the Boston Red Sox. And I apologize to any team that we might have gained an advantage on during the 17 and 18 season because we were breaking the rules. I wish I had known about it. I would have stopped it. We'd be talking about something different now. I've had to accept consequences. I've had the most severe consequences of anybody relative to what I did and what I knew. All this evidence that they collected, interviews, emails, text messages, etc., there was nothing that implicated me. The dog didn't bark. There was no evidence. And yet, they proceeded to punish me. For all of 2017, and it went on for a portion of 2018. Like I said, I argued for and voted for enforcement by MLB, so there was a security agent in the dugout. The first one is a document describing what's called a decoder. And Rob Manfred has said, and he's been quoted as saying, decoder is not against the rules. It mentions, it calls it the sign stealing dark arts. I didn't read through the entire email. I wish I had, because I might have been curious enough to ask some follow-up questions.
Do you think that the Astros are going to win this case? Do you think that they actually made their former GM a scapegoat and pretty much blamed the whole thing on him as well as AJ Hinch, so they were pushed out the door? They're pretty much the bad guys, the villains of Major League Baseball. It reminds me of what the Boston Red Sox did. Instead of firing, okay, so they fired Alex Cora, but they also fired a video replay room technician, JT Watkins. They pretty much blamed the whole thing on JT. He's not been back in baseball. He has no job openings anytime soon, and that's exactly what Mr. Jeff is going through. I refuse to say his last name because I don't want to butcher it anymore, but let me know in the comment section down below, what do you make of all of this mess? Are you on the side of the Astros? Are you on the side of the disgraced former employees of the Astros who are trying to reclaim their glory and kind of, you know, wipe off the stains a little bit? Even though stains are kind of hard to get out, they might be there forever if you don't use the right solution. And to be honest with you, suing the team, I'm not sure if that's the right solution. But moving on, Marcus Stroman. Yeah, so free agent Marcus Stroman is definitely not going to Chicago, because if you did not know, brand new manager of the Chicago White Sox is longtime manager Tony La Russa. He was recently just arrested for his second DUI in the last 2 decades, and the White Sox knew this before they hired him. So they're actually, I think there's a press conference today or tomorrow, and he's also scheduled to have an arraignment for his second DUI around the same day or time. So I don't know how that's going to happen. Either way, Marcus Stroman said, I would never want to play for a guy like that. In fact, here is the entire thread. I'm not going to read it word for word. I want you all to start from the top, go down to the bottom, where pretty much Marcus Stroman says, no amount of money would allow me to play for a guy like that. And I don't know where the racism comes into play. I've never seen Tony La Russa say anything racist, and I'm not going to go digging for it because I don't want to be accused of slander or libel. So if there's any example of Tony La Russa not being a great guy outside of his DUIs, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, if you're a White Sox fan expecting the services of Marcus Stroman, you might want to think again. Now, speaking of teams that are expecting services of an individual player, Trevor Bauer, the world is his oyster. He can do whatever he wants, and of course, what does he do? He takes advantage of a brand new opportunity because he became the first MLB player ever to be endorsed by Lids, the hat company, which is kind of crazy because if you think about it, baseball is the one sport where you constantly are seeing hats, so I'm not sure how that works. Maybe it's because Major League Baseball has an endorsement with Nike. I don't know how that works with the uniforms, but you would think this would be the 10th or the 50th MLB player to be endorsed by Lids. Either way, he held up a picture with a couple different teams, and in my opinion, I am reading between the lines. These are the teams that he is considering in this 2020-2021 offseason. My best guess is that he goes to LA. I would lean more towards the Angels because, again, he is from California. He played at UCLA. I think that he's very familiar with the state of California. Yes, he would get taxed up the you-know-what, and maybe that would be an incentive for him to go elsewhere. Maybe a state like Florida where there's no state income tax. The Astros, you would not get taxed as heavily. So, yeah, Trevor Bauer, in my opinion, yes, it's awesome that he's signing with Lids, but also I think he made a statement with this picture. And then last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and roll some clips of the brand new owner of the Mets, Steve Cohen, talking about what he's gonna do. And the best quote from me is the fact that he said he has a day job to make money. He is in the business of not only making the playoffs, but he wants to win a World Series in the next 3 to 5 years. And if it doesn't happen, it's a disappointment. I mean, this guy he's saying everything right. I'm jealous as an Indians fan.
We're going to build a process that produces great teams year in and year out. You build champions. You don't buy them. And we have a great core on this team. And I plan to make the investments we need to succeed. We want to win now, but we're also building for the long term. In my investing business, I get judged every day. I know you will judge me every day too. I'm all in. Let's go Mets.
All right, everyone. Well, that is going to do it for today's offseason recap. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you're all staying safe and having fun out there. The Astros, they're not having fun. They're being sued. Tony La Russa, he's being dragged through the mud. We have Trevor Bauer deciding his fate. Probably not anytime soon because we have 8 different hats and franchises to pick from. And then last but not least, Mets fans are rejoicing. Christmas pretty much came early. Christmas is in October and November for Mets fans. Cohen is the real deal. I am very, very upset that he is not with the Indians. But that's going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out.